Thanks for staying with us. You're watching WION The World as one, and this is Speed News. Let's start with all the top stories making headlines today. US President Donald Trump has suggested that he is considering a move to seize Iran's oil assets. He has even raised the possibility of targeting Kharg Island, Iran's main oil export hub. The US President told the Financial Times that his preference would be to take control of Iran's oil. Trump compared the potential move to Venezuela, where the US intends to control the oil industry indefinitely after its capture of former leader Nicolas Maduro in January. Such a move in Iran would involve seizing Kharg Island, through which most of Iran's oil is exported. Trump said, and I'm quoting him here, "Maybe we take Kharg Island, maybe we don't. We have a lot of options." Dismissing Iranian defense on Kharg Island, he said that US could take the island very easily. President Donald Trump on Sunday said he had achieved a regime change in Iran and said he was pretty sure he would strike a deal to end the war. Trump added that the strikes against the top leadership of the Islamic Republic effectively amount to a regime change. President Trump is reportedly mulling a military operation to extract nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium from Iran. A report citing US officials say Trump is yet to decide and that he is considering the danger to American troops. Israel's parliament approved the country's 2026 state budget early Monday, including a record allocation for defense spending. This in the backdrop of opposition denouncing the plan as the greatest theft in the country's history. According to the Times of Israel, the budget passed its final reading in the Knesset by 62 votes to 55. The $271 billion budget includes $45.8 billion for the Defense Ministry, which is the largest defense allocation in Israel's history. Indonesia confirmed that one of its peacekeepers was killed in Lebanon after the UN force said a projectile hit one of its positions on March 29th. Foreign Ministry statement said the government of Indonesia expresses its deepest condolences following the death of one Indonesian peacekeeper and the injury of 3 others serving with the United Nations interim force in Lebanon.
I strongly
The UN nuclear watchdog confirmed that Iran's Khondab heavy water facility is no longer operational after sustaining major damage in US-Israeli airstrikes. The assessment based on satellite analysis comes as tensions escalate across West Asia, with Iran responding through drone and missile attacks targeting multiple countries hosting US-linked assets. Iran has warned it will target the residences of US and Israeli commanders and political officials in the region. The warning was issued on Sunday by a spokesperson for the Khatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters, Iran's highest operational command unit coordinating between the regular army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The spokesperson said that enemy commanders' homes and the residences of officials are considered valid military targets as tensions continue to rise. Saudi Arabia's defense ministry says its forces have detected and intercepted at least 5 ballistic missiles aimed at the kingdom's eastern province. However, the statement did not specify where the missiles originated. In another related incident, Kuwait's electricity ministry said that an Iranian strike on a power station killed 1 Indian worker. Earlier, Kuwait's defense ministry said 10 service members were injured in an attack on a military camp. The latest strikes and interceptions come as Iran has accused the US of plotting a ground invasion. Days after Yemen's Houthi rebels joined the West Asia war, the Israeli military claimed that it detected 2 unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs from Yemen. In a statement, the IDF added that the 2 UAVs have been intercepted. Amid this, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered the military to expand operations into southern Lebanon. In a video statement, Netanyahu said that he has instructed the Israeli Defense Forces to expand the existing security buffer zone. This, he said, would thwart the threat of an invasion. An Indian worker has been killed in an Iranian strike on a power and water desalination plant in Kuwait, according to Kuwait's Ministry of Electricity and Water. The attack also damaged a service building at the facility. Pakistan says it is ready to host talks to end the war in West Asia, but there is no official confirmation yet that US and Iran have agreed to attend any talks. Foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Turkey gathered in Islamabad, speaking after talks between the regional foreign ministers. Pakistan's foreign minister Ishaq Dar said they had covered possible ways to bring an early and permanent end to the war. Dar claimed that both Iran and the US have expressed their confidence in Islamabad to facilitate the talks, but it is not immediately clear if the US and Iran have agreed to attend any potential talks. Two Indian LPG carriers, BW Tier and BW Elm, carrying a combined LPG cargo of about 94,000 MT, have safely transited the region and are moving towards Indian shores. BW Tier is proceeding towards Mumbai with an expected time of arrival on 31st March, and BW Elm is en route to New Mangalore with an estimated arrival date of 1st April. A Russian tanker full of crude oil has entered Cuban waters and is expected to reach port today. Well, this comes after President Donald Trump has said he has no problem with Moscow delivering oil to Cuba as a sanctioned Russian oil tanker approached the communist-ruled island. The vessel, which is carrying 730,000 barrels of crude oil, was off the eastern tip of Cuba on Sunday. It would be the first shipment of oil to the island since January, bringing some temporary relief to a country of 9.6 million people that has endured a deepening energy and economic crisis. Several hundred US Special Operations Forces have arrived in West Asian region. According to a report by NYT, two US military officials were quoted as saying that US Special Operations Forces have joined thousands of Marine and Army paratroopers in a deployment meant to give President Trump additional options to expand the month-long war with Iran. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the official said the commandos, including Army Rangers and Navy SEALs, have not yet been assigned specific missions. A key US airborne warning and control system, or AWACS, aircraft was destroyed after an Iranian strike on an airbase in Saudi Arabia. The E-3 Sentry AWACS command and control plane was reportedly among multiple aircraft damaged in the attack on Prince Sultan Air Base on Friday. At least 10 US service members were injured in the Iranian missile and drone strikes. While dismissing Iranian defense on Kharg Island, Trump said that US could take the island very easily. Reports say that aerial refueling tankers were among the other planes damaged. If confirmed, the extent of the damage to the aircraft reportedly renders it irreparable. In Uttarakhand, retired Army Brigadier V.K. Joshi was allegedly shot dead in capital Dehradun's Rajpur area. According to officials at the scene, the firing broke out during an argument between people travelling in two vehicles, and a stray bullet hit the brigadier while he was out for a walk. Police have cordoned off the area and investigation is underway. Delhi police arrested a 47-year-old man, Srinivas Lewis, from his rented accommodation in Mysuru, Karnataka. The person was apprehended for allegedly sending more than 1,000 hoax threat messages targeting several institutions, high courts and government offices across the country. US President Donald Trump says the US military is planning to construct a large complex beneath the new ballroom he is building at the White House. Trump claimed that the construction is ahead of schedule. Well, he did not elaborate on the unprecedented arrangement but said that information about the plan had come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit. Last October, he had an entire wing of the White House bulldozed in order to build a vast ballroom to host receptions and state dinners. NASA is finalizing preparations for the Artemis II mission, which is set to launch as early as 1st April 2026. Well, this will mark the first crewed flight to the moon in 53 years. The 10-day mission will take 4 astronauts around the moon and back, testing systems for future lunar landings. The U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer USS Gridley docked at the Amador cruise port in Panama City on Sunday, which is March 29th, as the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz anchored offshore. Well, this marked the first visit of a U.S. aircraft carrier to Panamanian waters in over 50 years. The vessels arrived as part of Southern Seas 2026, a U.S. deployment during which the USS Nimitz and the Arleigh-Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Gridley conduct passing exercises at sea with ships of partner nations as they circumnavigate the South American continent. Australian police on Monday shot dead a fugitive gunman wanted for killing 2 officers, ending a 7-month manhunt for one of the country's most wanted criminal. Desmond Freeman fled into dense bushland after allegedly shooting and killing 2 police officers on a rural property in Victoria State in August last year. Victoria Police Commissioner Mike Bush said the shooting was justified and brought closure to the families of 2 police officers allegedly killed by Freeman in Pok Punka in August. Severe flooding, a landslide and thunderstorms in parts of Afghanistan left 17 people dead and 26 injured over the last 24 hours. The severe weather also left 147 homes either completely or partially destroyed, wiped out 80 kilometers of roads and destroyed agricultural land and irrigation canals and businesses. 13 of Afghanistan's 34 provinces, mostly in the western, central and northwestern parts of the country, have been affected. The Indian Meteorological Department had issued a rain alert for several states including Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan for today. Snowfall has been predicted in isolated areas of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. The IMD also noted that a fresh western disturbance is likely to affect northwest India from April 2nd, which may bring cloudy skies and chances of rainfall over the region. Stock markets in Asia tumbled today as investors brace for a prolonged Gulf conflict. Japan's Nikkei fell nearly 5% today, while South Korea and broader Asia also saw heavy losses at the opening. Brent crude hit $116 a barrel, up 60% this month, surpassing the jump after Iraq's 1990 invasion of Kuwait. Analysts warn that continued disruption in the Strait of Hormuz could push oil towards $150 a barrel, hitting energy-dependent regions hard. The US dollar held firm today, poised for its strongest monthly gain since last July as investors worry about the fallout from a prolonged West Asia conflict. The yen slipped past the 160 mark, prompting intervention concerns from Tokyo, while the euro and pound slide against the dollar. Market analysts say traders are staying defensive amid rising oil prices and geopolitical uncertainty, with central banks closely watching currency moves to manage growth and inflation pressures. The UK government is reviewing its electric vehicle quotas after car production fell to the lowest level since 1952. Ministers are considering changes to the zero-emission vehicle mandate, which currently requires 33% of new car sales to be electric in the year 2026. Production of EVs, hybrids and plug-ins fell in February, and some manufacturers face steep penalties for missing targets. The review could mark a shift in Labour's green policy, though officials stress EV ownership remains easier and cheaper than ever. A new study by Stanford University flags risks from AI sycophancy. Sycophancy is when chatbots flatter users and agree with their views even when they may be wrong. Researchers tested 11 models including ChatGPT, Cloud and Gemini. They found AI responses validated user behavior 49% more often than humans. In some cases, chatbots even supported harmful or illegal actions. A second experiment with 2,400 users showed people trusted sycophantic AI more, while participants were also more likely to seek advice again from such models. The study warns this may make users more self-centered and less likely to apologize. Researchers say AI sycophancy is a safety issue that needs regulations. A new survey in Switzerland shows overwhelming support for stronger protection of children online. 94% of respondents say minors should be better shielded from social media risks. 78% believe big tech companies hold too much influence over public opinion. This comes as global scrutiny of tech giants continue to grow. DeepSeek's chatbot suffered a major outage lasting more than 7 hours overnight in China. Users began reporting faults on Sunday evening as access to the service was disrupted. The company's status page initially acknowledged the issue and later marked it as resolved. A further incident involving performance problems was subsequently identified. DeepSeek said a fix has been implemented and that it was monitoring the results. Some users reported being able to access the chatbot again, though it remains unclear if the outage has been fully resolved. Sweeping job cuts across big techs have become an annual trend. However, the way executives explain these decisions has shifted significantly. Terms like efficiency, overhiring and excess management layers are no longer being emphasized. Instead, companies are pointing to advances in artificial intelligence as the primary driver. In recent weeks, major firms including Google, Amazon and Meta have announced or signaled workforce reductions. Smaller companies such as Pinterest and Atlassian have also indicated similar moves. Companies say AI is enabling them to operate with fewer employees while maintaining or increasing output. Mumbai Indians opened their IPL campaign in style with a 6-wicket win over Kolkata Knight Riders. Captain Hardik Pandya won the toss and chose to bowl first. For Kolkata, Ajinkya Rahane scored 67 off 40 balls, while Ankrish Raghuvanshi added 51 off 29, helping them post 220 for 4. Chasing 221, Mumbai got off to a flying start with a 148-run opening partnership between Rohit Sharma and Ryan Rickelton. They comfortably reached the target with 5 balls to spare. It was Mumbai's first win in an opening match of an IPL season since 2012. Italy's Marco Bezzecchi claimed victory in the United States Grand Prix to make it 3 wins in a row at the start of the MotoGP season. Starting at 4th on the grid, Bezzecchi took the lead on the opening lap at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, and he did not surrender first place after that, having also won the final 2 races of last season. The 27-year-old secured his 5th consecutive victory. He now leads the MotoGP standings with 81 points, 4 ahead of his teammate and second-placed Jorge Martin. The next race will take place in Spain from April 24th to 26th. K-pop icons BTS have officially reclaimed their throne. The band made their debut at the #1 spot in the UK official albums chart with their highly anticipated comeback project, Arirang. The album released after a nearly 4-year hiatus due to mandatory military service. Well, the album marks the group's 3rd chart topper in Britain following the success of The Soul, Persona and Map of the Soul as 7 albums. Well, to celebrate their return, the band recently performed a massive free concert in Seoul, South Korea. Mary Beth Hurt, the 3-time Tony Award nominee and star of screen classics like Interiors and The World, according to Garp, passed away at the age of 79. Her daughter Molly confirmed the news on social media. She noted that her mother died peacefully following a decade-long battle with Alzheimer's disease. Bollywood actor Sonam Kapoor and her husband Anand Ahuja have announced the birth of their 2nd child. The couple welcomed a baby boy on March 29th. In the year 2022, the couple had announced the birth of their first son, Vayu. The couple, who married in 2018, received a flood of congratulation messages from their friends and family, including Kareena Kapoor Khan and Rhea Kapoor.